first now.
Is that facing us on the left?
On the right-hand side,
sorry,
number
yeah.
10, yeah. And we're
You got
underway.
me back to front with your lefts and rights.
Nice big challenge to start us off this morning.
Yeah.
Keane and Ricken battling in the middle of the pitch and Dudley getting some territory.
So what are Muscle Warriors doing well this season? Because it's not ostensibly a similar squad to they've had previous years?
Yeah, I believe so. Couple of changes. Balls broke kindly here. Ball in behind, 1v1 for Jack. Let's run out for a goal kick, I believe. Yeah, I think the division's sort of opened up a little bit, to be honest, but Muscle Warriors started the season really well. Rick and Shah's sort of dominating in that middle area. Jacob Vickers has come on a lot on the wing. I saw Jacob out in the summer out in Belgium, and he impressed with his passing ability. So I should imagine they've got a little bit more power in the team now, and that helps them to break teams down.
And Ricken's very experienced, isn't he? European experience with Aspire.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not sure if did he ever get close to the English squad?
No, I don't believe so.
Right.
But certainly, like you say, he's been around the block.
Yeah.
He's played a lot of football. Very experienced. A lot of games with Aspire. So he knows the sport well. He knows that middle role, and he can hold his own in there and get the ball moving for his team.
And would it be fair to say Dudley's got less experience?
Yeah, I'd say so at the moment. On the wing on the right hand side, as we look, Jack Ebanks has played a lot of football for the Frostals, so he's come down to Dudley this season to help out with his team. So he brings some experience there. Lewis Marshall's a new addition, playing in the centre today, which is a first, I believe. I've not seen him play in the middle before. He came and joined from the Manchester setup with Sale and Manchester United PFC. He's really enjoying his football, and he's been a great addition to the squad. So hopefully he can help the team progress this weekend.
And obviously you know the players well. Do you have any coaching role with Dudley, or leave that to the?
No, not
others?
anymore. I first got involved with the Dudley team and sort of with them from the team setting up as a squad, and as we entered into the National League. But then the last 2 or 3 seasons, Dave Lewis and Matt Gilbert have taken over. They've done a great job, and I just oversee that in terms of weekly training, coming down to the sports centre and making sure that the guys are happy. Training's well structured, which it always is. Dave and Matt do a great job, and just to make sure that the pathway's as strong as it can be.
And that's from a selfish perspective, because you want the best players floating up into West Brom.
Of course, we need to make sure that there's some young blood coming through, keep that first team as strong as possible, and keep us challenging for trophies.
Even Stevens so far here?
Yeah, it's been a close game. Flash moments, areas where the ball's broken. There's been a little counter-attack here and there. I think both teams started the game well. I think this is an area where they'll be looking to break the opposition down with some set plays in the final third. Maybe catch out find some gaps in between the defensive setup and try and get the ball to the back post.
No, I've just spotted something. I don't know if Are you the only team in the league with coordinated trousers? Or club?
You know what? It got picked up a lot on commentary at the first weekend in the Premier League. Yeah, I think Owen Swift was very fond of our purple striped trousers. The club have switched to Macron as the new kit manufacturer for this season, and there's some jazzy designs, put it that way.
Right.
So they've certainly caught the eye of a few people.
Yeah. Well, it stands out, and I can see them on your legs as well.
Yeah,
England top, West Brom
that's
bottoms.
It. Yeah. They don't blend in very well with many items of clothing. That's the only problem.
You don't wear them out to town then?
No. I won't be wearing them tonight out and about now. I expect this to be a good battle as the game goes on in the centre of the pitch. Lewis and Ricken, I think.
Now, did Lewis play a central role for sale?
I think he's one of those players that's quite versatile and can. So referees pretending to kick the ball at us there. Hey? I think he's one of those players that can play anywhere. When he came in, I think we saw that he'd got that dribbling ability, that he could certainly hold his own in that middle of the pitch. But what he's done really well, to our surprise a little bit, is he's actually generated some great power on the ball with reverse spins and open play. Yep. He scored a great goal in the first weekend with a reverse spin. So I think Dave and Matt will rotate that round and have spells with Lewis in the middle, and then mix it round. Jack Westmoreland's plays in there too, and then there's a lot of flexibility with Jack Ebanks and Keane. They can also come into the centre of the pitch.
Is this Jack Westmoreland's second, third season in the Nationals?
Yeah, I think it would be. Yeah.
I remember his debut and he scored, and he was one of the most exuberant celebrations I've seen.
Yeah, it's iconic. Jack's celebrations when he scores goals, even when his teammates score goals, the celebrations just as exuberant. So he's very passionate about the sport, and it's great to see. Not many chances so far, but Dudley had 2 or 3 set plays there in the corner with Keane putting a bit of power on the ball, trying to break Muscle Warriors down. But both teams have got quite a good defensive setup, so I think that this game might struggle for goals.
Yeah. I haven't got the stats in front of me. Muscle Warriors, are they significant wins or close? So that 5 out of 5?
Yeah, I believe so. I think they scored quite a few goals the first weekend. I didn't see much action, to be honest, myself. I was here for the one day, but predominantly watching Dudley. Yeah. So I didn't see too many games, but looked at the table and saw Muscle Warriors with the perfect weekend, and I don't know if that would have took them by surprise, to be honest, but like you say, they're a team that have been in this division quite a while. It got some experienced players, big squad now as well, so I'm sure that they'd have come into this season with high hopes. I think we'll see quite a few set plays going back to the goalkeeper from Dudley. Laura strikes a mean reverse spin. Right. So I think that they'll look to try and pass that ball backwards to switch.
Does that ever make you nervous? I mean, I know that's the position you played, but...
No, trust Laura in there to make some good decisions. But no, when players are closing you down and you're set to strike the ball with power, obviously it only takes one deflection and you can be caught out. But it's about making that decision at the right time and recognising when it's on and when it's not. Laura will take the ball into a dribble if she believes that the passing option's gone. So she'll be set ready for the pass if it's there. But yeah, experienced player as well. Laura now brings a lot of experience to this team. Calm head at the back, and she communicates well with the guys in front.
Now, did I remember right? Did she debut with St George's? Or
you're testing me there.
I am, aren't I?
You are.
I was just wondering. St George's are now folded, but a few of the players have moved.
Yeah, that's right. Laura was definitely in and around the St George's Knights teams. I'm not sure if you started there, if she played anywhere else first, but she certainly did play quite a lot of football there.
Now, I have to say, I'm finding the number of player changes this season quite bewildering.
Yeah, a lot of transfers. It's kept the admin busy, I'm sure. It's great to see. I think players now, they recognise that they put so much into their football careers, and you know, if they feel it's time for a change, it's time for a change. And you know, credit to the families, their commitment, you know, is unquestionable, and they're happy to travel 2-3 hours to different clubs for weekly training sessions. So it's certainly mixed up the league and makes it more entertaining, because you're not quite sure what you're going to get, and seeing new players and new teams, it brings a different element to the game.
And how, I mean, it always strikes me as very important the relationship players have. So I guess these new players coming in and kind of forming new playing relationships as well, you're never quite sure if they're going to unlock something special as well.
Well, that's it. The game's all about those sort of combinations on the court. So, you know, good strike there from Ricky, and he nearly caught the goalkeeper out of the post. Good save by Lewis. He's broke to the back post though for ball. Muscle Warriors turning the screw a little bit here, putting them under pressure. They caught Laura just outside the box. There was nearly a 2-on-1 in the build-up to that play, but referee played a good advantage, and Ricken nearly found a gap at the front post. Parth Gakewood's come on into the action. I think Alan's decided that the team are on the front foot and bring a different option onto the pitch out wide. Hopefully that breaks Dudley down and finds the opening goal. Good play by Jack there. He's recognised that he's got the opportunity to drive that ball up the court too, but Ricken's done well to get round that and to change the momentum of this attack. And that's a kick into Muscle Warriors on the far side.
Ricken reminds me of those classic centre players that are always going to be difficult to get past.
Oh, for sure. Knows the game really well. Knows how to get his chair position to make it difficult. Very experienced, and yeah, will certainly be a tough player for Dudley to get past and break down today.
You described Jack as experienced, but I think he's probably got a third of your experience. How many years do you need in the Nationals before you think you start getting set?
I don't think you can ever master this game, to be honest. No. I've been playing over 15 years now, and yeah, the game's always surprising you, new challenges.
It has evolved a lot as well, hasn't it? Really?
Yeah, it has.
I guess unrecognisable from when and the tactics, not
just
just the.
Back in the day when I started playing, it looked completely different to what it does now. Obviously, the main difference is the purpose-built chairs, giving us that freedom to strike the ball with power, like we just saw there with that reverse spin from Jacob. Now we can generate the power on the ball. Teams can open up and make the pitch a bit bigger, and brings an element of tactics into play, like you say, to try and find strategies and ways to break teams down. But we're all forever learning. We can never say we've mastered this game. You know, the most experienced players in this league find the sport as challenging now as it's ever been, with young players coming through, and as you mentioned previously, players transferring to other clubs and making clubs more competitive. So we're always on our toes. We're hoping to see the teams try and link 2 or 3 more passes together as this game goes on. I think
it's scrap is the wrong word, but it's not coming together yet.
Yeah, I think both teams have recognised that it's going to be a competitive game, and they've perhaps matched each other up with a dominant centre player who can dribble and battle, but perhaps the ball hasn't been as free-flowing as it could be. So maybe as the game goes on, both squads have got a lot of players, a lot of different options. Maybe there'll be some changes that hopefully result in more of an open game. That's a good ball to back post, though. Good strike from Jacob between the goalkeeper and defender there, but Lewis has done well to get the ball under control and drive it away. There's flash points, but it'd be nice to see 2 or 3 passes just to move the ball left or right, just to open up that game and move that centre player around. I was fearing for Matt Gilbert then. I thought Lewis was bearing down on him. Could see the front bumper colliding with his feet there on the sidelines. So difficult as coaches in chairs. There's not much space here at the sports centre. So you want to be in the action and dictating and passing on that message to the players, but it's so difficult to try and stay out the way at the same time.
You must have played at Burton. I can't remember the name of the centre there. Maybe the Rainbow Centre or something. There's about 3 inches there, aren't there? I remember. I saw a linesman get chopped because he backed into the wall and it was immediately there. I'm sure he was all right, but
let's hope he survived to tell the tale.
Yeah.
It's a corner ball. These are the areas where Muscle Warriors were hoping to get some success and get the ball to the back post. Once that goalkeeper's pinned on the line, it opens up that channel, and I think Rickin's setting up here was as a bit of a front bumper decoy I think if Jacob can generate that power, he'll be looking for a dummy to the back post here to pass.
So I think I would have said pre-COVID, a lot of goals. Well, no, I think I counted them. A lot of goals were being scored off set plays like that. Even though the set plays are getting more sophisticated, the defences are getting better as well, aren't they? And I'd say it's less likely now to score off a set play. Would you?
Yep, for sure. I think, especially with my team, West Brom, in the National League, in the Premiership, is that going to creep in? Oh, just took a deflection off the front of Lewis's bumper and just went wide of the post. But back to your point, I think, as you say, the teams set up and defend really well, so it makes it difficult to have much success on the set plays. But what we would do in our team is we'd probably set the restart to try and move the opposition around, and actually it's more of a second phase.
Ooh.
Good strike on the front bumper there from Ricky. He'll be trying to force this one in over the line. Laura and Lewis need to stay strong.
So you'll have a plan A that will be trying to score, but assuming it won't, and then your plan B is immediately enacted. Yeah,
I think we probably look to identify the space first and foremost, which would draw the defensive shape, just draw the defensive team out of their shape, and once they're then out of their position, that then brings new opportunities to try and exploit the space on the second phase of that set play.
Without giving away any trade secrets, would you have set plays for specific teams? Or
At times, yeah, for sure. The problem with our game is we play so many games that quickly in the sense of a weekend. You come to play a National League weekend and you're playing at least 4 matches.
Yeah.
So you can't really have too many set plans.
Yeah,
coming
and you can't
into
draw
a
breath
weekend.
between them anyway, can you?
So you'll have an idea of how certain teams play. Some teams are more structured in their defensive shape than others, so you might have set plays that you feel are better suited for those sort of teams. But in terms of specific set plays for certain opposition, very rarely, but there are times where we'll identify a weakness in an opponent and see an area that they perhaps don't defend the space as well, and look to move the ball into that area to catch them out.
Do you find it any different at international level, or is it just as... maybe you get 2 games. I can't remember the schedules. You get 2 matches a day max?
Power chair football as a whole is pretty much so full on.
Yeah.
A lot of games in a short space of time. But internationally, we don't get to see that much of the countries in terms of how they set up and what they do. So it's sort of coming up with different patterns of play or set plays in the moment when we're there. In downtime when we're not playing, watching them play against another team and exploiting areas we feel that we can have some success.
I guess even if they've got full coverage like the French, you only see the club teams, don't you? So you can watch the individuals but never the team. Yeah,
and the players overseas are a lot more spread out. So, some of the clubs may have 2 international players in there.
Yeah.
So you don't quite get a full feel for the tactics and set plays that they'll have.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask about international players. I noticed Monvillas, the Irish internationals here, and I think the Donegal brothers are in the Premiership. Last year's Zagarelli.
Yeah.
Must be proud of that the league is...
Oh, it's a great ball to the back post. And he's got through the gap, and a great finish by Jacob.
That was unlucky, wasn't it? Just sneaked through. And
yeah, I think, as mentioned before, these are the areas where I think Muscle Warriors will be looking for that success. Looking for little gaps in the defensive setup to try and get the ball to the back post, either with dummies or direct passes there, went between the defender and goalkeeper. Jacob was alive at the back post and
he finished it well,
he finished it well.
Didn't complicate it.
No, got a good contact on his chair, made sure he was there to finish it off. I think Dudley will be disappointed with that. Cheap goal to concede, but credit to Muscle Warriors and Alan. He changed it up there just before that set play. He brought Rickin off and Shay on and tweaked his setup. And I think perhaps he was seeing the game, as we were saying earlier, that once they got through that sort of 10-15 minute period, that hopefully the game would open up and he could encourage his team to pass the ball around a little bit more.
So dying seconds of the first half, that goal was scored in. So let's Dudley have a quick response. They'll go in 1-0 down at half time.
Yeah, it's never a good time to concede a goal just before the break. I think Dave and Matt Gilbert would have been quite pleased with the first half up until then. I think the squad will be disappointed with the goal that they've just conceded. I think they would have felt they could have defended that one a little bit better. But to be fair to Muscle Warriors, they put good power on the ball. They saw a gap and they hit it, and they managed to find that opportunity in that opening before half time.
So international players coming to play.
Yes, it's very exciting. It was great to have Valentino over when we were out at the World Cup. Got speaking to the family, and they made it clear that they would love for him to come and play in England. At that point, you kind of just think, oh yeah, of course, it's never going to happen. But no, they certainly were keen, and they were desperate to come across and have that experience. And hopefully, that's been the catalyst to encourage others to come.
Yeah,
I think that we've got a great National League structure here. It's certainly two very competitive divisions. So seeing an international player come to play in our Championship division as well, that's really exciting. And I think that it can only improve our product. It can only help us to better promote our sport in terms of global awareness. And hopefully that can kick our sport onto a new level.
I think as well, I'm sure Valentino's presence here drew an audience back in Argentina, and sometimes those foreign leagues are a bit, one or two teams are dominating. The scores can be very high, and if you watch local football, you might not quite see the extent to which the game could develop. So I'm sure it benefits everyone, doesn't it?
For sure. I think the viewers back home in Argentina would have tuned in and watched the footage, and they'd have picked up things that perhaps they don't see regularly in their national leagues, and it will bring new elements to their play and tactics, and they can take that back to their club training. I know Valentino's been on WhatsApp to me and asking if we can jump on Zoom calls, and so he's desperate to try and bring that knowledge back home and to develop his players. So
do you fancy coaching in Argentina?
I certainly like the climate. I'd certainly love to be over there for the sunshine, for sure, and the steak as well. Yeah.
So shall we have a pause, and then afterwards you might also talk about your thoughts of playing in a World Cup?
Yeah, for sure.
Argentina. If I can hit the right button. So 1-0 to Muscle Warriors. We're back shortly. Right, welcome back to the second half. Muscle Warriors currently top of the league. This would make it 6 wins out of 6. 1-0 up against Dudley. I'd say a standard corner. Dudley just let it slip through and Vickers finished on the back post. Generally, they've been evenly matched. Not too many chances.
I think that's a fair summary. I think the game will perhaps open up a little bit more second half now. A couple of changes from Dudley. They've switched their wingers, Noah and Jack Gowder. So hopefully they'll be looking to get the ball moving a little bit more. But as you say, Muscle Warriors found an opportunity there to get the ball to the back post direct from a kick-in. There was a gap between the defender and the goalkeeper. I think Dudley will be disappointed, but great execution from Muscle Warriors and a good finish from at the back post by Jacob Vickers, just making sure he got a good contact, reversing in and finishing it off to make sure he gave his team the lead at half-time.
Where do you stand on that as a centre kick tactic? It's a bit like rugby.
Yeah, very interesting you should say that. We had a debate at one of the England camps recently. John Baldwin was very much against the kick-off of striking for touch and getting the territory. I favour it a lot more, to be honest, because, as you mentioned, these teams are very hard to break down now. So actually, when they've got their own set plays, they're perhaps more open than when they're actually defending set plays. Yeah. So if you strike the ball out near the corner, one, it's a very difficult restart position if you can find very high up the pitch towards the corner. So it's very difficult for the team to get up the court from there. But then also it's a bit more open. They're striking the ball with a bit more power, hopefully, which gives you the power to play off and an opportunity to counter whatever they do from their set play. The ball's moving a little bit more now. Ball's took 2 touches in the corner, but he's moved it round well.
Ooh,
good strike from Jacob. Rickin's moved out wide. I'm not sure if that's just for this phase or if that's a tactical ploy from Alan.
He took the centre, didn't he?
Yeah, he did take the centre, yeah. But Jacob strikes a great ball. I think that if he does have a spell in the middle, I think he could find his wingers in behind and open the pitch up a little bit more. Dudley will be hoping to build a bit of momentum here. I think with the subs coming on, a bit of a change. Hopefully catches Muscle Warriors out a little bit. Big gap there. That's a bit optimistic though.
Do you listen to the podcasts?
Yes, I do. I enjoy listening to the podcast. I think it's great that we can sort of tune in and listen to Power Chair Football, sport we all love, and hear people's different takes on it, you know. I think Ryan and Alex do a great job.
I can't remember what they call it, but I'll call it hair in a chair. And we've got our 2 goalies here. You ever been tempted?
Hair in a chair?
Well, the multicoloured, or colour to match your kit.
I'll have to...
you have to consult others on that, will you?
I'll have to have a chat with Neve if she'd let me dye my hair green.
What about black and white stripes?
I'm not quite
sure. Or blue and white?
Yeah, dark navy and white stripes, yeah. There'll be plenty of white coming in soon, so I'll just have to touch it up with some navy. But
I think she'd buy that for a cup final or something, wouldn't she?
Yeah, maybe for just a special occasion.
Get the whole squad.
Whole squad.
Ditch the matching trousers and have matching hair instead.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to football.
Good strike there from Jack. Got the ball in behind Jacob. Opportunity to get it across to Noah. Good strike, but well positioned there, Hannah, to block that one and get the ball out wide. But the game is starting to open up a little bit more now, which is good to see. I think.
So why is that? Have they got the measure of each other, or Dudley taking more risks to try and get the goal back?
Obviously, Dudley a goal down, so they've got to open up themselves a little bit to try and create opportunities. I think Alan has looked at tactical tweaks throughout this game and has changed positioning of his players. Jacob's now having an extended spell in the middle. So that's certainly brought some power. I think both teams now are at the point where they've got through those cagey moments, opening game of a weekend. You know, it does bring some nerves. Teams are training hard for this National League. It's been a few weeks since they were here last, and they want to have a good weekend. So they've got through those cagey moments, and now they're looking to open up a bit more.
Oh, the first game's harder. Done a journey. maybe you could just come in from the cold. You know, it's
Yeah.
horrible outside today, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. There's that a bit of nervous energy with it too. You know, you've been training hard. You want to hope that brings results, and a bit of the contact there off at the back
So
of the chair. But
even someone as experienced as
there's always butterflies going into a game, and that the opening game, if you can pick up 3 points and get off to a good start, it's often not the most entertaining or the best performance of the weekend, but it tends to start from there, and it only gets better from that first game, if you like. And once you get that first win on the board, you can start to get a bit of confidence in what you're doing, and hopefully open up a little bit more and get the ball moving that bit more.
So even the first game on a Sunday, you're more settled.
Yeah. You're sort of well into the weekend. You're in the swing of things with a routine.
And it does seem this year the weekends seem to be much further apart, or particularly this side of Christmas.
I think probably down to just sports hall availability.
Right.
We had obviously the World Cup last October, which affected the schedule a little bit of the National League, and then that's probably had a knock-on effect with.
So people slipped in and you lose the slot, as it were.
And then Champions League last summer.
Yeah.
So I think that it's probably been more difficult to space the weekends out and make sure teams have had enough time between football commitments and tournaments to be fresh and ready for a National League.
If there's a lull, I'll ask you about the Champions League. The standard of competition, is it higher than the World Cup because of the kind of team talent you get? Or
I'd say on a par, I'd say. Obviously, at the World Cup, you come up against a strong French national team and a strong USA team. So the French players are a little bit more spread out when it comes to the Champions League. So the games don't feel quite as tough, but at the same time, we're not quite. We're spread out too. Yeah, so I'm not there with. Me and John aren't playing together with Marcus and the likes of Brad Bates and Dan McLennan, so we're a bit more spread out ourselves. So,
but it feels like it makes it more competitive, if you know what I mean. More hard games.
Oh, it's certainly a competitive tournament. It was a great experience. There was
That's not your first, is it? You've played a couple before.
It'd been a few years though. I think 6 years between our last Champions League.
Right.
So it was a long time coming with COVID. We were looking forward to going out to Geneva. Unfortunately, that one was cancelled. So yeah, it was one of those. It was one of those moments. It's nice to be there first and foremost, but also then because it had been so long, teams were desperate to win. It was great to see Aspire get over the line, but there was nothing between the top few teams. We had a very close game with them in the semi-finals. Went down to 3 players, had a red card, and managed to draw the game 2-2. Took it to penalties, and unfortunately it wasn't to be for us, but we were glad that we could come away with that third place finish, and we then sat there in the crowd and cheered them on and hoped they got the job done, which they did. It was great to see that trophy come back to England.
I'm not sure you caught it in Chris's voice there, but the normally smiley Chris, that was gritted teeth, as he said.
Yeah,
well done for Aspire.
I have to pretend to be happy for Aspire, unfortunately.
But you did very well.
No. I was, obviously, you mentioned previously England teammates spread out, a lot of teammates there, so it was.
I think it's brilliant for England, really, wasn't it?
Of course, and as we touched on with our National League and the development and international players coming over here, it only adds to that our brand, if you like, that we've got. We're the current holders of the European Champions League and the European Championships too. So currently England are top dogs in Europe. We'll be desperate to make sure that remains the case.
Now you mentioned earlier Jacob Vickers.
Yeah.
And an event in Belgium. Do you think is that something you see the game developing more and more? So I guess he will have played with other European power chair players. That would be a unique opportunity, would it, for many? From the English game?
I think where the sport's at now, there's going to be more and more opportunities for players to travel, players to go and experience different tournaments, different structures. The tournament in Belgium was a mixed team, so he got to play with players that he wouldn't have ever played with before. You'd have to ask Jacob if he enjoyed that and if it helped his game, but I certainly noticed a talent there. I'm not saying he hadn't displayed that with Muscle Warriors previously, but hadn't perhaps seen it as much because I don't get to spend much time here at the Championship in this division. So it was great to see players with that quality coming through. And like you say, he had the opportunity to play with one of the Belgium internationals, I think their captain. That must have been a great experience, and I'm sure he learnt plenty from it. So
it's settled back again, the game here, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
Early 5 minutes was open, and
10 minutes to go now. I think that it gets to that point for Muscle Warriors where it's 1-0. You know, I haven't really got to push for a second, so good strike from Jack. Do they sit in now and try and see the game out?
Jack Westmoreland on.
Yeah, Jack Westmoreland's coming into that middle area. He'll be looking to move the ball around and get the ball out wide. So hopefully it does give us an entertaining finish, but I wouldn't be surprised if at times Muscle Warriors just try to hold on to what they've got. Should mention Laura there, who's just had surgery on her ankle as well, and she's come back quickly to be here. So fair play to Laura to get herself here and fresh and ready to go, and I'm sure fight a little bit of pain and put the team first. Good
she wouldn't have been forced into that by the manager.
I'll have to check. There might be a safeguarding concern there. No, I'm only joking. But that's definitely not the case. I know Laura well. She's very passionate about the game. And having a chat to her pre-match, she said she couldn't miss it for the world. So she's safe and well. She's got a foot in a cast, in a solid boot. So she can't cause herself any injury. And yeah, she's here to try and help Dudley have a good weekend and pick up some points.
I'm trying to rack my brains. I can't remember if Muscle have been in the Premiership in the 7 or 8 seasons I've been watching Power Chair football.
Certainly, they definitely have been in the Premiership, Muscle Warriors. There's that Aspire Hub has sort of had three clubs historically, hasn't it, with Evergreen as well. So there was a spell with Evergreen in there, and I'm not sure if there was a period of time where Evergreen sort of became the second team, if that makes sense, in their system. I know they're sort of 3 separate teams in their own right, but they sort of sit in the same hub. So I'm not sure if at one point Evergreen were perhaps in the Premiership with Aspire for an extended period of time, where Muscle Warriors were then the sort of 3rd team in the rank. But certainly do remember Muscle Warriors being in the Prem.
I mean, long way to get. It's only game 6, but
long way to go. But they'll be
good,
pleased with their start.
Yeah.
At this point, if they can get through this game, 6 wins out of 6, and in a 22-game season, that's a large chunk of the season already gone. They'll be hoping to be top of the league at Christmas.
And digging out wins like this is what makes you champions, or it certainly gets you into the promotion spots.
In the National League, it can't be a case of 22 perfect matches and playing brilliant football in every game. Obviously, teams try. Not saying that Muscle Warriors have played badly here at all, but sometimes you've just got to find a way to win. And when you do get that lead, manage the game well, get the 3 points on the board, and put the pressure on the teams chasing. I think a bit of a change in tact as well. Ricken and Jacob have almost gone as a 2 middle.
Yeah.
Ricken's just
I think is that Jack's very, very mobile, isn't he? Have they done that to counter Jack, do you think?
Probably. There's good rotation off the ball to make sure there's always a middle player back behind. So they probably recognise that if Jack does win his battle and get past the first player, that they need someone to support. So if that's Jacob and Ricken working as a 2, or Parth coming back behind the ball like he just did there.
Yeah, that was really good work there, wasn't it? I guess that's, it might be little tiny things like that where all the players are tuned in make the difference between last season and this season, if you know what I mean.
For sure, and I think that's where the training and routines and patterns come into play, because teams will be training in for these scenarios with 1-0 up in a game, sort of 5-6 minutes to go. How do we maintain the scoreline that we've got? How do we maintain that 1-0 lead? And they'll be looking at rotating around and covering each other constantly to make sure that the opposition have got to work really hard to get yards up the pitch.
And again, Vickers dropped in there.
Yeah, I don't expect to see obviously kicking now in a quite advanced area. I don't expect to see too many examples of two wingers sitting in the corners and leaving the middle of the pitch exposed now. I think they'll cover that middle area quite well. Limit maybe opportunities to get the ball to the back post, but with a 1-0 lead and 5 minutes to go, there's not much difference between a 1-0 win and a 2-0 win. At this point, you haven't got to be worried about goal difference so early on in the season, so they'll just be looking to manage the game and get the 3 points.
It's funny how slow the clock goes, isn't it, in the last 5 minutes?
Yeah, but I'm sure it'll be feeling like it's gone quite fast for Dudley. You know, 1-0 down, they'll be desperately trying to create a moment. There's normally one moment in a game when you get to this stage where you're just hoping that you've got the players in the right position at the right times, and they're set and ready to strike the ball to finish it off.
I'm not sure Hindley in goal's been troubled, has she, really?
No, a few sort of involvements early on. The game was a little bit more end-to-end, but not so open. A few counter-attacks for Dudley, but I don't think she's seen much of the ball second half. But I think that comes down to the two central players of Muscle Warriors rotating around and covering each other really well. When Dudley have beat the first player in Rickin or Jacob, they've then quickly come up against someone else and they've stopped that momentum and stopped Dudley from advancing up the court. Good strike there from half.
Just wasn't quite right for Rickin, was it?
No, but Rickin's probably thinking, well, I don't want to be too advanced because if the ball does break, then I'm out of position. So it was sort of half and half, but it's a good strike to find the gap. And I think that at 0-0, probably Rickin would have been better set there to probably try and finish that one off. Surprised that Dudley haven't experimented here by putting Kean Collins in the middle, because Kean's quite unpredictable in his play. He strikes a great reverse spin, so he can often create something out of nothing. And with 5 minutes to go, well, less than that now, you need someone to generate and create that moment. So I'm quite surprised that they haven't thought about that as coaches. Maybe they have. Maybe they feel that they're in the game at the moment, but it's always difficult with a big squad as well to rotate too much. You know, you come in with set plans. They've probably identified Keane as a wide player for this game. And Jack Westmoreland's done well in there, so they're probably thinking and hoping Jack might create us that one opportunity that we can get back in it. But in the main, Muscle Warriors have certainly locked down the last 10 minutes of this. You know, all the action's been in the Dudley half. Dudley have had a lot of possession, but they're really struggling to break that press and to transition in behind.
Just the solidity that three have given it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gayquad, Shah and Vickers.
And you need a good strike there to the back post from
Good
Jacob
save
again.
by
Good save, yeah.
Not a
Looks
chance.
like,
No.
yeah, it looks like Muscle Warriors are trying to find that second goal to finish the game off. Alan certainly wants it, the coach on the sideline. He thought that one was close. But yeah, I was just going to say, this is where you want someone like a Marcus Harrison. We've been blessed over the years that he can bully his way through the defensive setup. He's not afraid to pick up a chair and carry it with him. So, you know, you need someone to just get you out of these situations when teams are trying to pen you in, make it difficult. You need someone with that dribbling quality to just get past one or two players and just get the ball up the pitch for you. I think going into the last minute though, if Dudley do come out on the wrong side of this scoreline, I think they'll still be happy with how the game's gone. Muscle Warriors are the top team in the league as it stands. There's not been a lot between the two. I think if Dudley are analysing the goal they conceded, they would have felt that they could have done a lot better than they did. So given that opportunity again, they'd have liked to think that they could have defended that moment, and we could be sat here at a 0-0 rather than a 1-0.
It reminds me a bit of the Aspire West Brom matches, if you know what I mean there.
Yeah.
Very tight.
Tight games, can be cagey, flash points where it does open up, and you just hope that you can get the ball moving enough and players are set and ready to to finish it off when you do get those limited chances. Going for the big reverse spin here.
Ooh.
Just a little bit too close to the goalkeeper in the end, but
One more to Rick in there, do you think? Would you have...
yeah, I think they'd come up with a little bit of a set plan to strike it in behind path and let him have a strike at goal. Hopefully find the gap between the two. But yeah, there was a player free at the back post for sure. If he could have redirected that back across.
Ooh.
There's an opportunity now though. Here's the moment. Can he switch it in behind? It's gone to Noah.
Oh, just beyond
Jacob
nose bumper.
swept up really well there though. Jacob got back quickly to mean he could get a play on that ball and stop Dudley's momentum. A set play here would be great though if they could get it, which they have. Last chance saloon.
Have you watched the film Gladiator 2?
I haven't seen Gladiator 2, no.
Just heading towards us then. I think Vickers has got a bit of Gladiator in him. Have a look at the posters later.
Right, Noah's got the screen.
Right.
Jack's going to try and hit that gap at the top of the box. We could have
So,
wild celebrations from
Hindley
Jack
and
Westmoreland
Gayquad
at the back post
here.
if this gets through.
Can they hold their discipline? So the clock's at 0.
Yeah.
It's with the ref.
So Jack's making sure he's got the ball
Probably
in the
the
perfect
last
position
play.
for this strike. He strikes it.
Oh, straight
off Noah's bumper. He knows that was the last chance.
So if they've got any sense, they'll be seeing this one out.
Yeah, I
Muscle.
don't think they'll be rushing to take this one. I think a little pass to Rickin to dribble this one down the centre of the pitch would probably be the best play.
I can't recall an infringement in this
No,
half.
no. To be honest, it's been a competitive game, but very fair game. I think Laura just clipped the back of a chair and gave away a free kick moments ago. But other than that, I can't
I was
think
thinking
of
how much
anything
extra
else.
time that would.
No, yeah.
There
Well,
we
that
go.
answers that one.
Yeah.
Not much at all. Close game. Another good 3 points for Muscle Warriors. I'll be pleased taking that momentum into this weekend. I think Dudley should be happy with the performance. There was not a lot between the two teams, and if they can perform like that in their remaining fixtures, I'm sure they'll pick up some points.
Yeah. Well done, Warriors. Perfect start continues, and well done, Dudley, holding them as they did. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for sharing your experiences.
Thank you, Nick. Been a pleasure.
And I'm not sure what match is up next, but we shall hang up now. Thank you.